Damn. Shit ain't even hooked up. All right. What up, everybody? I'm not gonna lie to you. Hey, Takari, I am so glad you are in here. Cause I got something to show your ass. What up, Ali? What's up, Razul? Support, Ghostin, Kilo. Everybody's it. It is, you know what's funny? It is a weird that Michael nigga, whoever that is hunting this man. That man created the other live the other day. This man created like 3 different profiles just to come in there and try to troll this nigga. What's up, Trench? The realest nigga. What's up, nigga? Oh boy. Hey. But yeah, I actually got some breaking news, kind of, sort of. Uh one thing, the one that what's up, DeMarcus? The thing that I'm talking about with you, Takari, is I told you Raising Canaan was the best one. I told you that, even though the ratings don't necessarily say it, and they may not be winning the awards and stuff. I told you what the reasoning was, and then it's crazy. Right before I had to start this, because I'm watching a podcast, right? And the podcast is featuring Gianni Piallo, right? And basically this guy who's interviewing him. In case of any of y'all want to check it out, the name of the podcast is Lightweight Podcast. Lightweight Podcast with somebody. Hold on. Let me look at it, see what this name is. I haven't finished it yet because I had to start the live before I got to finish it. But the name of the podcast is Lightweights Podcast with Joe, what's his, Vulpes? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's spelled VULPIS. Yeah, Goatson was good, bro. Yeah, yeah. So you may have seen some of what I'm talking about, to point the reason you saying that. Because see, in this like I'm only 8 minutes in for this interview, 8.5 basically. And this whole interview is an hour. But at the beginning, basically he's talking about, the spinoffs, basically his journey of how he got, cast on Power and all that. We kind of already knew that because of the crew has it. So one of the breaking news that I have is that he confirmed that the crew has it is getting ready to retire. This podcast was 3 days ago. But he said they are getting ready to start back up with the crew has it. So that's one thing. Cool. Because for me, I thought it was a dope podcast. Another one is basically, like I told you, he said throughout all the spinoffs, Raising Canaan is the best one. Now, this is a professional actor who actually works on Power Book 2 Ghost. He's the lead. And he's admitting that Raising Canaan is the best one. Like I told you, if you look at it from an actor's perspective, like I am, actors, producers, directors, we look at these shows. Raising Canaan is the clear cut best one. It's not even close, really. It's the clear cut best one. They have the best actors. They have the best writing. It's not predictable like the other ones. It's the most realistic. It has the best charisma and chemistry between the actors. It's the best one, really, by far. Book two is only as big, like I said, is because they was riding off the cocktail of the original Power. They had all the Power shows that we already knew. I mean, all the Power characters that we already knew, so they didn't have to build up that audience. That's why it was so massive. They already had Michael Rainey, Gianni. They seen him, but they didn't really know who he was. But of course, they had Lorenz Tate. Then you brought Method Man on. Then you brought Mary J. Blige. And then all you had to do was just build the story around them. It wasn't that hard. I mean, obviously the actors and stuff still had to perform, no question about it. But what I'm saying is it was much easier, especially with it being the continuation of what happened in the original Power. It just made it the easiest. The same with Force. Force already had Tommy. So they kind of, folks were familiar with Tommy. Raising Canaan was the only one that had, you know, brand new faces that no one really knew. And they had to organically build their story. That's the reason why they have the lowest rating. But it is by far the best show. So glad Gianni was able to pretty much back what I was telling you last week. This is the same thing I was saying. Appreciate that super, Demarcus. Imagine if Angela was still alive with Tariq unalived, James St. Patrick. Would Angela had gone after Tariq and Tasha for? Absolutely. Hey, that's a good question. But absolutely, Angela wouldn't have played no games. His son or not, his wife, she know damn sure she ain't finna take up for Tasha. But his son or not, yeah, she ain't letting you get away with that. Yes. Tariq and Tasha to this day would have been in cuffs. Absolutely. Angela wouldn't have played no games with that motherfucker. She would have built up that case so damn quick and found out what happened. Let me see. For the longest, I thought the podcast was canceled. Now, to the if you pay attention to the Instagram to the crew has it, I don't know if you follow it, but they do have an Instagram. They've been playing little clips here and there from it. So I've been paying attention to that. So I kind of figured like, it seemed like they might be getting ready to make a move on it. And then after watching this podcast here, he confirms it. They're getting ready to start back up. Now, for the last breaking news that I was getting ready to say, the other breaking news that and hopefully, the other minions don't get on here and then try to hurry up and go scoop it and make a video on it. They might do it. Who cares? But anyways, another thing that we were able to find out is Gianni will not be in the new Power spinoff, according to what he said. Because in this podcast, he said, well, actually, you know what? I'll just share that little part for you. The little segment I'm speaking of. I know we got some topics. So I'll start them up right after this. But I kind of wanted to, go ahead and share this because I thought it was some good information. How did that get up? All right, so this is the podcast here. Let me play with it.
8, you're like, this is not hitting 50, because then the next weekend it'll be like 2, like it always dwindles down. And it had done like 26 or something. So I'm like, right before that happened,
Holy shit.
so not known that it would have been successful. I always knew it broke all the, could have not known. Oh my God, thank God. And I always do, like, people could have not known that it would have been successful. Always off with Michael. Courtney, the showrunner, called me and she's like, "You're gonna be the lead of the spinoff with
I'm trying to get
with
to the
Michael."
part.
Holy shit.
So I was like, "Oh my God, thank God!" And I always do, like, people could have not known that it would have been successful. I always knew it broke all the records of the original Power, the book 2, which was ours. It was just a continuation. It broke all the records. Then they did Force, which was another character, went to Chicago. Those numbers didn't do anywhere near ours. And then Raising Kanan, which I think was the best one. It was
boom. You hear that? You hear that, Takari? The best one, which it is.
the prequel of 50 Cent's character, Kanan, because he died in season 4. That one I think was the best one, but it did the least numbers because it was very like 90s and like slow, but it was a slow burn, but like very stylistically beautifully done. The showrunner Sasha did a great job with it.
I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. Real quick.
So later on, hold on. A little later, let's go ahead and go to the part when he's talking about him not being a part of the new one that's coming.
Good. So if you want to try it, it's going to be linked down below. Stay hydrated, my friends. Now back to the podcast. If your show had so much numbers, why'd they end up canceling it? Or finishing the story?
It was a budget thing. It was a strike and budget thing.
So is there a world where they can bring it back?
They're doing another spinoff. I don't think I'm a part of it.
Would you want to be part of it?
I go back and forth with it. Like, I'd love to pop in and do an episode, but like, I don't know if I want to be like then it's 3 Power shows that I'm on. And it's like, as an actor, like, you want to expand, and that audience is amazing.
Okay, so that's pretty much just the part that I wanted to share. I don't want to go too long with it. Then I can avoid, copyright bullshit. But pretty much you saw, what I was talking about. That, he confirmed that basically he's not going to be in the new one, that Raising Kanan is the best one, and the reason why it is. And also, just to touch on what he's saying about, he's right. As an actor, you want to expand as much as possible. And then, unfortunately, as massive as, the Power fans are, I mean, look at us having a live podcast ourselves, talking about it. That just shows the how big the show is and how big of a fan base they have. But unfortunately, it's only appealing to us to one demographic of people. Like, well, it's crazy because white people and stuff do watch it. It's not like they don't, but Hollywood basically will never give Power the recognition that it gives shows like Euphoria and what pretty much shows that's more appealing to wider audiences. That's pretty much what it is. And that's pretty much what, in a nutshell, what Gianni is saying right here. He's like, as much as he loves it, it's only so far he can go. And I think pretty much that's what Woody is saying too, with the typecasting. When you own shows and stuff like this, they typecast you, and then it's kind of hard. Also, what he also said a little later in the that same interview is that he wants to get to the level where he don't have to audition anymore. And to explain a little bit more of what he mean by that is, once you reach a certain stature of the acting world, you don't really audition anymore. It's just offer. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a big time movie or a TV show or something like that, they'll be like, "Hey, we want you for this role," and you don't have to audition. You just, they know they know your resume. They know what you can bring. They wrote the character and they're like, "I think you're a perfect match for it. We want to cast you." that's pretty much how it is for like the bigger. Like if you pay attention, if you remember, Eddie Murphy said he's never after he got done with I think he said what was it? Something he said he only auditioned for one thing before, and after that he's never auditioned before again. And like Denzel, Will Smith, Lawrence Fishburne, Leonardo DiCaprio, big time actors like that, they don't audition. They just get the offer. So that's what he's saying. He's trying to get to, and he's not going to, unfortunately, be able to get to that working power so much because everyone doesn't know him because Hollywood doesn't recognize those type of shows like that. Let me go ahead and read some of these comments. I see a lot of comments. God damn, it's a lot of comments. Hold up. Raising Kanan has a more realistic nostalgia. It absolutely does. Yeah, I believe Raising Kanan is better spinoff. It is. It's the best one. What's up, Talia? Famous, B. Rilla, and Mackay Curtis are the best actors. Look at this nigga. Hold up. Let me plug this laptop off before we don't be having nothing. Hold up. They didn't build shit. They had catered story to make people watch Raising Kanan. They also watched hoping to see young Ghost. Regardless, bro, they still had to build from the top. What I'm saying is they don't have any recognizable faces, bro. You know what I'm saying? Unless she was mad at him before he died. Oh, you talking about Angela? Nah. Trust me, it wouldn't have mattered. If you killed Jamie, she coming after you. I don't care how he could have cheated on Tasha and had a sex tape and played it in Angela's living room. It wouldn't have mattered. She coming after you for that shit. But they still post here and there on Instagram. I hope they started back soon. Yeah. Yeah, Gianna do be playing and capping. I agree with that. They do be trying to do shit leading people on. Most definitely. Him not being in it would go against everything he said before that interview. I agree with you on that, Kenny, because you remember when him and Tommy was together, they was like, no, Abu 2 is not canceled. We got something else coming up. It's gonna blow your mind. So hey, he could be just pulling our leg a little bit with that because I did instantly think about that when I saw it. But I was just saying like that interview is fresh, but I don't know. Gianni and Woody just went live on TikTok. They all coming back, I'm sure. Could be. They could be just finessing us, I just wanted to share the information. Keep listening to Gary and support about Power Dude. Crazy Cat is the best one. Facts. See, everybody knows it, right? He said that, but he gave you the explanation, just like I did. The reason why it did the less numbers is because it didn't have the big time actors and stuff like that on. That's the reason why. Only one recognizable was Omar Epps, and Omar Epps. Let's be honest, he was on a down, downside of his career. Like Omar Epps hasn't came out with nothing really too big in a long time. Honestly, I can't even think of what's the last big project Omar Epps really was in like that. I mean, sure he's recognizable, but he don't have the same star meter that he once had. Everybody saying, y'all think y'all don't believe me. Hey, he might be capping. I'm calling cap. I seen a movie he was in this year and it was ass. Hey. Quincy Olivero signed with hey, I saw that. And I thought about reporting on it. I definitely saw that. And I'm so happy he got that spot because we all know LeBron robbed that nigga. of a spot for the Lakers. He's not that good of an actor for that. Gianni not that good. I agree. He's not that strong of an actor. He's not bad, but to be so good that offer only. Like it's crazy. One of these days, y'all, maybe I'll do a members only section when I do that. I'm just saying. Because actually to be honest with you, Google has been getting on me saying that I don't do enough members only content. So I gotta start doing content for members only. Just saying. Like they actually be sending me emails talking about that shit, saying because there's a certain program that they put me in. I submitted for it and they accepted me, and they put me in. They was telling me, in order to stay in it, I need to start doing more members only content. So it is what it is. But one of these days, I'm gonna show y'all my breakdown services thing, where to show you how the other side of like the side that you don't get to see of what it's like for the actors and the still producers and stuff on the other side. Like I'm gonna bring up my casting site and stuff where I can show you a lot of these big actors and stuff. Some of them I might actually show some of them auditions and stuff like that where we actually do that. But and then you'll see on there certain ones submit and they'll say offer only. So that's what he's talking about. And do I think he's big enough for big projects? Like a smaller project, yeah, he could pull that off, because smaller people will be like, yeah, that's Gianni, he's recognizable. We'll go ahead and just cast him. But like a big time Hollywood production, no, they're not doing it. Not saying he can't get better and possibly get to that point, but right now, no. Who is the worst prosecutor? Stacey Marks, Jenny Sullivan, Angela. It's definitely not Angela or Sachs or Mark or John Mock or Mike Sandoval. So you can throw all of them out. The only competition would be Jenny and Stacey Marks. And if you ask me, I'm gonna go with Stacey Marks. If he not in it, somebody needs to snatch his green light chain. Yeah, he better stick to the waters he used to. I agree. But yeah, I want to see your casting, bro. I'm actually intrigued. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'm gonna do that one of these days and stuff like that. Cause like I said, I gotta do more members only content anyways, so they can get off my ass. So I will have the host one of those. And that movie wasn't big; it was just liked by black people on Twitter. Absolutely, I agree. That's the type Takara, that's the type of stuff he's yeah, you would be used to with him. MTV, Nickelodeon actor for sure. I hope he returns too, 'cause I just think that it would be weird without him. But more than likely, it could be what majority is saying. He just capping, trying to lead us the wrong way. All right, appreciate that. Who got the best comebacks or one liner? Madam Rock, Jax, or Mallory from Beauty and Black? Could you see Jax being Rock Attorney in Raising Canaan? Something I never thought about, but hmm. Hey, I think I would. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'm probably gonna be biased and say Rock. I'm about to go with Rock, man. Because Rock, Rock got some cold little lines when she be on folks' ass that I still remember. I can't say I can do that, but at the same time, to be fair, I've watched Raising Canaan way more than I've watched Beauty and Black and Reasonable Doubt. Definitely not Angela. She was terrible. Nobody ever talks about how wrong she always was. Little theories. Hey, Angela got shit done though. Let's be real. Angela took down two. You gotta put some respect on Angela name. Angela took down two major drug traffickers. Come on. She took down Lobos. They caught Lobos because of Angela. And she took down the Jimenez. They caught them because of Angela. So you can't say that. Angela is submitted. Like honestly, she probably has the most rank of all of them because she took down two major drug dealers. You can't say that about none of the other ones. He should be happy he lucked into Ma in power. I keep banning this nigga and he keep coming back. Yeah, shit. I done banned him twice myself too. That's the crazy part. I done banned him twice. After learning Kanan is his son becoming determined to protect him, he tries to guide. Okay, gotcha. IMDb. Gianni Ben said he wasn't returning back when season 4 was airing. Really? I didn't see that. Hey, so what you think of Reasonable Doubt, Razu? I told you that shit good, ain't it? We're gonna miss you, Brayden, but it's time to start that Tariq, D Mac, and Marshall era. I honestly don't think Marshall is gonna make it. Tariq and D Mac got you, but I don't think Marshall's making it. Da Vinci is a better actor than Gianni, aka Brayden. I think it's close. Because Gianni is a goofy guy, you know what I'm saying? And I think he's good at being he's good at being a goofy guy. And Da Vinci don't never did a work, so it's kind of hard to compare those two because they're two different characters. Like to be honest with you, where Da Vinci thrives at is being that guy, being the cool guy, the big guy on campus. That's where he's the best at. That's why BMF, he's not terrible in BMF, but he does have times where it's questionable. You're like, ugh, that was shaky. You know what I'm saying? So, but in All American, I never really seen him shaky in All American. He was always good at it because that's what he's good at. True, that's right, Steve. Angela took down Mike Sandoval too. Right, y'all, you got Talia, you got to put some respect on Angela, man. Gianni honestly plays himself as Brayden. You're right, yeah. And typically with a lot of actors, that's what people thrive at. You pretty much thrive at playing a character that's close to who you really are. It's just the top tier, extraordinaire actors that are good at like they natural, persona is um a goofy guy, but they can also transform him into a tough guy. Like perfect example. Like I told y'all before, Woody McClain is actually a goofy guy. He's a playful, funny guy. That's who he really is. I met him. Like I told you before he became Kane on Power. I used to be around him kind of often. That's who he really is. Like he's a nice guy. And then he becomes Kane, which is the total opposite of that. Stacey Mars wasn't a bad prosecutor because she took down Claudia Merchovich and Roberto Ortega, the leader of the Marquez cartel. She took them down because Tommy allowed them to take them down. Though they gave them to her. Now you can say, granted, Ghost gave up Lobos so that Angela could get them, but at the same time, Angela actually had to work for that too by cloning Ghost's phone and shit. So you know You think D-Mac survived? I do. Oh, you talking to him? My opinion, I think D-Mac do survive. Marshall ass about to be on a T-shirt. Facts. I like the show. It's good. Is Beauty and Black good? Yeah, Beauty and Black is good too. I know I've been saying I'm gonna do some content on it, and I'm still gonna get around to it. Reasonable Doubt, that's definitely coming because they first 2 episodes was really good. Gary Leonard writing Power Legacy. I heard his writing in Force is more serious, so maybe Brayden doesn't fit that vibe with his comedic moments. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know either. Marshall character been a disappointment for me in book Force. I haven't seen nothing too impressive myself either. Appreciate that. Tommy was a snitch in Power and Reasonable. I didn't like, DeMarcus, I didn't like on Reasonable Doubt how he kind of threw Jax under the bus when he told the people that, she she basically quit on the case or something like that. I was like, damn, Tommy. You had to tell them folks like that. You said so. Nah. He ain't taking Mecca title. Beauty and Black is only on the 2nd season, so it won't take you that long to catch up. I've been hearing a lot about Tulsa King, so that is on my list of things I might check out because I've been hearing a lot about it. Anyways, though, it's crazy. I ain't even gotten into the first topic, people. Let me go ahead and go through these topics, and then I'm gonna go ahead and officially start. So, what as y'all see, we got Queen of Manipulation. Basically, we know throughout the Power his universe, we got a lot of finessing women that has manipulated people to get the things that they want. So we'll go down which one is the biggest manipulators throughout Power history. Then we have Tariq and Brayden. Pretty much what I'm talking about in this one. I'm gonna something new that I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna start doing this quite often throughout the lives, people. I'm a post, I'm gonna have a segment, and then I'm also going to um share a video, do the reaction, and then ask the question. So in this particular one, it's going to be the time where, if you can remember in season 2, when Tariq was on trial because Kane put the badge up in his dorm room and stuff. He needed that picture of Sweetney for Tate so that Tate would help him out with his case. And Brayden didn't want him to do that because it would potentially damage his family. But Tariq did it anyway. So basically, we're going to be discussing. We're going to review it, and then talk about who was right, who was wrong, and why. Next, we also have who's the better friend. Pretty much the same people. And we did before who's the better friend between Ghost and Tommy. So I thought it would be a good idea, especially after the segment right before it, to talk about who's the better friend between Tariq and Brayden. And lastly, we got Ghost and Tasha. Just like I told y'all, it's going to be another reaction thing where we ask the question and discuss it. So in this particular one, I'm going to share the video where you remember when Ghost first found out that Tasha was teaching Tariq the game, basically, letting him sell drugs. And, Ghost got mad at him, broke into the apartment, and then he kind of went off on him. Somebody's letting it loose in Memphis right now. Somebody's shooting their ass off. It shit is crazy. But anyways. So yeah, we're gonna watch that scene and then react who was right, who was wrong, Then give our opinions on why. So that is our 4 topics, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into it because I'm only gonna be on for maybe another 2 hours top. Probably not even 2 hours. Probably like hour and a half. I did not see him in Ozark. When I first found out he was in Ozark, I actually tried to review it, but I don't know that first season and stuff because I think Joseph was in season 3, and for me, I don't know, it was kind of slow, and I just never got to get to the part where he was in it. So, to the topic at hand, who is the queen of manipulation? We got a lot of people we can choose from. I would say our top candidates would be, we got Monet, we got Rock, we got Noma, we got Claudia. Shit, we can go with Holly because she was pretty manipulative too. Tasha to a degree too. You can say Tasha. Angela. I mean, you got a lot of people you can choose from. But who is the greatest finesser of them all? Noma was the queen of extortion. She was. Noma was playing with folks on that shit. I skipped your comment out to Leah. Where is it? Let me go back and look. I do that from time to time. I just be missing it. Okay, you said Angela caught Lobos because of Ghost. Pretty much what I already said. I already gave y'all that, and that's just 2. But like I said, she had to work in order to catch Lobos too. Because let's be real, she cloned Ghost's phone, followed her instincts that Tommy, wherever Tommy was, he was probably going to the he probably was going to the Lobos meet, and then it turned out to be the truth. So, like I said, yeah, Ghost kind of helped her, but she kind of forced Ghost's hand to do so by cloning his phone. Ghost didn't know she cloned her phone, his phone until later. You said she was wrong majority of the time. Okay, so what was the time she was wrong on? And I'll never forget she knew about Nomar effing a minor and let it slide so she could get info. I mean, yeah, she did that, but it still doesn't make her a bad prosecutor, though. She still, like I said, prosecuted the biggest people at the end of the day. Even if you want to try to, throw shots at how they did it, she still took down the biggest people. So that, I mean, you got to give her credit for that. All right, let me see where we at. Monet is the queen of manipulation. I think she's a very strong candidate because, as you can see, I have her as the cover for this because I think that might be who it is. So we got 2 votes for Monet. Steven says Tasha. Okay, so Steve, I'm very curious to know why you are going with Tasha. Ozark was good, but definitely started off slow. Yeah, and for me, I don't know. I stopped watching it. Tasha and her kids were half grown before they knew what life they were living. I think that's a good case, but at the same time, that's kind of more so because of Ghost too, though. So you can't just solely put that on her. Rock number 1, Monet number 2. Okay, so Razul, what's your case? The reason you believe it is Rock? I'm going with Rock. Her whole way to the top came from manipulation. and don't get me wrong, Razul and Kenny. Rock is a great pick. I'm not attacking it at all. I just want to know what's the reason why y'all going with Rock. Imagine if Ozzy's girlfriend is a transgender woman. Damn, I would hope not. Effie and Diana were manipulative too. You know what? We didn't mention them, but you damn right, Takari. Them motherfuckers need to be up in that category too, because them some finessing their people too. Let me see who is worse between Effie and Diana though. Let me think about that. Cause let me see. I don't know though. I don't know because man, honestly, I think it gotta be. Nah, it's Monet, bro. Forget that. It's Monet. I got it. You know, I'm gonna stick with my pick, bro. It's Monet. Like y'all gotta think about it. Look what Monet did. Let's start this thing out. Her whole the first big thing that at least as far as I can remember of what she was doing, you know, one of her biggest thing was talking about how I think she first said this in episode 2 of season 1. She was saying I can control anybody. All you gotta do is find out what they want and then take it away from them. That's manipulating 101, you know, master class. Like she was teaching Diana, you know, the master class right there of how to manipulate people. And then look what she was doing with Officer Ramirez. Look how she was manipulating Zeke to try to go into the draft and stuff for the people and stuff like that. Manipulated him into believing. She manipulated her own child to believe that he was 20. I mean, that he was 19 when he was 23. Come on, bro. I think that's honestly, I think that's resting the case there. Monet's cooked. That is absolutely the most manipulative woman of power. And then she manipulated Gordo to kill her own husband. Come on, bro. It is her. It's definitely her. I don't think I could put Claudia or Holly in the running for most manipulative for real, for real. I agree with you. I mean, I don't think they're in the running, but you know, I just wanted to give people more intake of care of, you know, people that you could potentially pick. But absolutely, they're not fucking with Rock. They're not fucking with Monet. Hell, they're not even fucking with Diana, probably. But I don't know. Claudia get a little points too though, because Claudia, let's not forget, she manipulated her some folks into getting her father killed, and then tried to get the brother knocked off too, and used some dude that she was smashing to help do it. How I'm giving excuses for Angela? Stop it. Tariq always fell behind what Diana said. This is you. Oh, I'm not Talia. I'm not saying that if you're referring to Angela, I'm not saying she wasn't a bad person. I would agree with you that you know she shouldn't be doing that. But at the end of the day, it still doesn't take away from her work. Rock made a teenager shoot a the Adams. Hey, you just dropped the bomb, Trench, because that is crazy. You was right. She manipulated her own son to shoot a cow that was so happens to be his father. So you ain't lying. That's some manipulating bullshit. But that's like what else do Rock have, you know, that that you know we can also put up in there to um to be able to compete with Monet, because I think Monet is the only competitor. I think it's clearly between Monet and Rock. Rock played chess on all them like that niggas. She did, absolutely. So support y'all saying it's Rock. I need more content, more context. Why are y'all saying it's Rock? Because I just went through a whole segment telling y'all what Monet did. Monet was no joke. Diana and Effie are about the same, to be honest. Yeah, I would put them on the same tier. Monet manipulated Noma not to unalive her over Mecca, and it came full circle. I don't know if I can't say she manipulated Noma. I just think she has made her realize that, it's better for business. So nah, she didn't manipulate her because Noma, it seemed like Noma is the person that, she's gonna pick business over, her love life. That's what it seemed like to me. So I won't really say, you know, she she manipulated Noma with that one. I mean, even though my pick is still Monet, I don't think she manipulated her though. Every between them two. What do you mean? In between those two. Rock got Kanan to shoot his father, just got her brother to kill everyone. That's true, but I still don't think she's Trump Monet yet. She told Diana how to hustle. Yeah, she did. Lorenzo may have been a simp, but hey, simps are the easiest ones to manipulate. That don't change her game. You know what I'm saying? Zeke just dumb as hell. Touche, but it doesn't matter. She still finessed him into believing that shit. That's manipulation. Rock is a snitch and a rat. I mean, she might be, but what they got to do with it? What are we talking about? Monet definitely most manipulation Lorenzo to how to and take out his connection. Take out his what do you mean with that? But wait, and then let's not forget this. Not only did she kill her own husband, yeah, with Monet, she used her son's boyfriend to do the damage, then tricked Drew to kill the boyfriend. Come on, bro. Monet is definitely the winner in this situation. Rock is the teacher when it comes to manipulation. She had Jukebox and Kanan in her class. She absolutely did. But let's not forget that Monet had Kane, Diana, and Drew in her class. She had a class with them too. Now let's not act like Rock the only teacher. If Rock was the teacher, Monet is the professor. Shit, Monet the principal. That's a good case, Ali. I own you is pretty bad, bro, because she definitely messed with Lulu head a lot after that tactic. But I'm still gonna hold on to Monet. Now that is more. I will give you this. That is definitely way more legendary than anything Monet said. I feel like. But you know what? Here's a cold line that I can remember from Monet though, which was very manipulative. She told Diana, when she was giving her master class for Diana. Actually, it was it wasn't doing it at the same time, but still, she told Diana that a man doesn't fall in love with with you. He falls in love with how he sees himself to you, which is a form of super manipulation when trying to get Diana to know how to use her sexuality to control stuff. But is it messing with I own you, nigga? Nah, I can't say that. Claudia manipulated Brandon Doe to go against Vic and her father. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, DeMarcus, when I was saying, she manipulated the niggas she was smashing to help with that situation. Yeah. Rock manipulated Symphony. How did she? Let's see. Did she manipulate Symphony? I mean, she had him under her control for sure. Can I say she just manipulated him to? She didn't really manipulate him into doing something insane that she shouldn't, and that was just real crazy. Unique. I mean, I can say the same for him. She didn't really manipulate him into doing nothing crazy. DEFCON. we don't really know. Howard, yeah, she was on Howard ass. Cartier, absolutely, and High Post. We don't have 100% confirmation on High Post, but I would agree more than likely she did. I ain't High Post, bitch. Rock made Scrap microwave a puppy. Yeah, but they ain't really manipulation. They just, orders. Monet convincing her kids that her oldest son, her oldest son Zeke was their cousin was diabolical. Monet probably had Lorenzo thinking he took her virginity when she already had a whole baby. Facts, Dakari. Exactly. It's Monet, y'all. Y'all can't tell me today, bro. And I love Rock, bro. Rock a finessing ass nigga, bro. But come on, bro. I think Monet got it. And it's close. Like, is they like 1A and 1B for sure. But Monet is 1A. No manipulation Kane and take out. Oh, yeah, Noma was a manipulator too, though, because she absolutely was sinking her claws into Kane. So that's the only reason why Monet, is dead today because of that. She manipulated Lou to think the record label she did to that shit. She did, but that's him on his record label for sure. Lorenzo wasn't a simp. Nah, I don't know. Let me see. DeMarcus actually might be right because Lorenzo was pretty tough when he first came out. He just kind of softened down a little bit once, the Zeke situation happened. And I feel like, honestly, it's that new writer that did that shit, which wasn't good. Like, I liked the tough Lorenzo that we seen in seasons 1 and 2. Rock had to be Monet's mentor. It would make sense. What has Monet done that's bigger than having your only son attempt to get his first body on a cop that happens to be his father? That, Kenny, that is true. I think she has the biggest manipulating move, but I think Monet has done more manipulating things. Because let's be like I said, come on, she killed her own husband through manipulation. She manipulated her sons. Let's think about this. She manipulated her own son's boyfriend to take out her husband. Then she didn't stop there. Then she manipulated the son to take out the boyfriend, and neither one of them knew what was going on. The boyfriend didn't know that her husband wasn't the one responsible for taking out his father. So she manipulated them there, and she finessed Evelyn and them to believe in that too. Gordo's mom. Then she tricked Drew into believing that then it's Monet, but y'all don't care what y'all say. You remember when Dante first came to Zeke and was like, I'm your father and stuff like that. Look how quickly she was able to come up with a finesse and line story like that, talking about your dad is in jail, and I wouldn't lie to you. Then she manipulated, bro. She killed Carrie and then made it look like a suicide. Then lied to Zeke, even though Zeke, I think, kind of knew that that it was a lie, but still, come on, bro. Then she finessed Diana. Come on, bro. Y'all got it. Come on, bro. She finessed Diana into tricking Kevin Whitman to come into the house, like she was working with her to help, take down Monet, and then trick Diana into being conspiring to kill a police officer. Even though obviously Diana didn't get in trouble for that, but she tricked Diana, not telling her that she was about to murder the man inside of the house. She is a master manipulator, people, and so is Monet. I mean, so is Rock. But come on, bro, Monet ain't no joke. What has Monet? But yeah, I agree that Rock probably got the worst one that she did, but I think overall Monet got it. Yep. So basically, the nigga felt like he's Superman. He gonna fly high. Hmm. What up, Hezzy? I feel like I ain't seen you in a minute. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Y'all niggas are funny too. You and Kitty with that shit. Everybody said Rock made Def Gun gay. Hell nah. Def Gun made Def Gun gay. Def Con was gay because that nigga was gay. Imagine if Kevin Williams didn't pass away or had beef with 50 Cent. He could have played Def Con in a Raising Canaan flashback. Why him of everybody? Zeke, I wish the writers should done more with his character. He be on Power for 2 seasons. That wasted his character. That's another character I could say I missed. That nigga was funny. Jukebox being more manipulating than Rock. I don't even think you can make a real case of that, Jamal. He's just trying to go against the grain right now. Thank you, Hezekiah. He knows, bro. It's definitely Monet. Y'all tripping. Your argument is solid because they have Monet doing a lot on screen. Exactly. See, bro, Monet was out of this world with manipulation. With Rock in her past is a lot of assumptions, like DEFCON, High Post, Rock going to jail. Right. Now, like I said, I think Rock is 1B. The 1A belongs to Monet, Nene, Stewart, Tejada. And had her sons go kill the rest of the family. She sure did that too. He played a gay character years ago on The Wire called Omar Little. I heard about that character. Never, as you know, I haven't watched The Wire though. But anyways, though, I think I'm gonna go ahead and head to the next segment because, like I said, let's see, we are currently at 1:30. Yeah, because I ain't got that much more time, so I can't spend too much more time on it. But this was a good segment. Now let's go ahead and go to this Tariq and Brayden situation, right? That's another thing too. Just to close the segment out, Ali. That's another thing. She was a master. Monet was a master deflector. When she get caught, every time she got caught up in her lie, she tried to spin it on them like it was their fault. Like when they found out about the Lorenzo situation, what did she do? When Diana found out she was lying about the Zeke situation, she did it. Like every time somebody is, on to her bullshit, she try to flip it on them. So, but anyways, Tariq and Brayden, right? So, like I was saying, they had a situation in season 2 where, Tariq basically was on trial for his life because, Kane put that police badge of, of a Ramirez badge up in his dorm room, and he was ultimately arrested for it. We know this. So, with that being said, Tariq needed Tate in order to help get him out of that situation. And in order for Tate to help him, he had to get him some dirt on Congressman Sweeney, right? Sweetney. I think that's his name, right? Sweetney. So it was a photo that, Tariq ended up getting to, show that he was doing blackface with the OJ situation like that. And Brayden told Tariq not to get it, not to give that to Tate because it would damage his family. But Tariq did it anyway because, his life was at risk. So I'm going to share the video so it can refresh people. Pretty much this is the argument that they had once Brayden found out Tariq went behind his back and gave him the photo anyway.
The prosecution for hiding one of the witnesses that could have helped me, so it's looking at you for now.
So Tate decided to help you out after all, huh? You gave him the photo.
The one of my dad with Sweeney, right, Tariq?
What the fuck? What, bro?
How'd you get it?
Doesn't matter how I got it. I got it and gave it to Tate. That's it.
Yeah, it does matter how you.
That's crazy that the fact that he said it doesn't matter how I got it. What? That's his family stuff. That's it. That belongs to him. You gonna say it doesn't matter how he got it.
You get it? Because I told you fucking not to.
Can you understand how much is at stake for my family right now? Just for once, please.
Okay, I need you to understand what's at stake for mine. It's not always about you.
Your family will be fine, okay? Your father will be fine. Sweeney will look crazy, okay? I'm the one that could go to jail over this shit, not your father, bro. But this shit is not a game to me. This is life or death.
Yeah, life or death, Tariq. Fucking bullshit.
So that's the scene. So if you can remember this, like I said, Tariq went behind Brayden's back and went ahead and took the picture and gave it to Tate. Now, ultimately, it did help Tariq. He ended up getting out. But the fact that he went behind his back and did that, and it could have potentially have damaged Brayden's family. Like, let's just say that it did go left. It went terribly wrong. And now the world knows about, Brayden's family potentially being, some racist or whatever. And they stopped, like took a major nosedive. So who is wrong in this situation? And let's not be biased. Let's just go ahead and be real. Who was actually wrong about it? Like, if you truly feel like Tariq wasn't wrong because he did what he had to do, just to get the, to make sure he survived, then, that's totally fine. Cool. But if you feel like, he shouldn't have done that and could have maybe found another way or whatever, state. Today is Michael Rainey's birthday, too. Big shout out. Happy birthday to Michael Rainey. But, yeah. So it's Sweeney, no T, cool. Let's see. Brayden made mistakes, but he was a way better friend. He saved him so many times, held it down in court, saved him from getting smoked by Kane and Noma, helped him with Zion and Carter. Okay, so that would be an argument more so for the segment right after this one. Right now, I'm trying to figure out we're going to focus on who was right in this particular situation. But this is very valid. I agree with you. Fuck Brayden family. And all he gets is being demoted to be a worker. Tariq and Brayden trash. Typical DeMarcus. Then he went and testified and took blame. So B definitely the better. Yeah, I think we kind of know that too. So hold on, Adula, you're saying Reek. Are you saying that Tariq is the one in the right? Tariq and Brayden never been shot. Yep. Turns out it was the truth. Brayden family was racist except for him and his sister. Facts. Tariq wrong most of the time. But is he wrong this time? So Rasul says Tariq was wrong. He's a snake. Damn. Tariq got the photo from Becca. Is that where he got it? Because I don't think they showed where he got how he got it. But that would make sense. I can see Becca doing some shit like that. He didn't get the photo from Becca. He got it from a maid that used to work in the penthouse. They didn't show this though, right? Tariq take pictures of racist family photo of Brayden family to us. So I'm a little confused because I can't quite remember, you know what I'm saying, them actually showing Tariq when he actually retrieved the photo. Did they show that? Because if so, I don't remember that. My memory is foggy when it comes to that. Rick got it from the album that Brayden bought back to school. Yeah, I remember him looking at it, but I don't think they showed him, actually going back to getting it. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think we all kind of assumed that's how he got it. But anyways, though, I guess I'll give my take. I mean, I would say obviously Tariq kind of was wrong for just taking it. I mean, that's your homie. He told you not to do it because it would potentially damage his family and his family's legacy. But at the same time, you also got to consider Tariq. He's you know basically fighting for his life, and he goes down for that. He's going away for a very long time. So it's either your family's legacy or my life. And keep in mind, the only reason why Tariq was in that predicament is because Brayden didn't listen to him when he told him, look, if any of the Tejadas come by, let him know, tell him what's up. Do not, be hanging with Kane and shit like that. And, Brayden did it anyway. Now, of course, Tariq didn't tell him every detail that he kind of needed to know so that he would know why he shouldn't be, fucking with Kane like that. But still, Brayden is ultimately the reason why and how Kane was able to get into the room and basically give, put the badge up in there to get him arrested. So I would say since you technically are responsible for what happened, you can take that L and let him have that photo. And then Tariq did tell Tate when he gave it to him, Brayden's family doesn't get, touched in this, just get Sweetie. And Tate actually listened and didn't kept, Brayden's family out of it. So it ended up working out. But yeah, so I would say my pick, Tariq was wrong, but he made the right move. That's what I'll say. Because you can't really say Brayden is wrong for not wanting to get his family fucked up. But at the same time, Tariq made the right move because I probably would have did the same. Fuck that. I guess I'd have been that damn snake too because I'm only in this situation because of you, nigga. Uh, happy belated to all the past birthday. I know, Hezzy, you had one not too long ago. Talia, happy belated to your daughter. After season 2, book 2 dropped, the whole Tate storyline because of influence getting canceled. Yeah, and you can tell that season 2 was in season 2 they was definitely setting it up for influence. That's something I would love to know what happened. Like, what is the reason that they really canceled influence? Because you could tell the way they was writing book 2 that they were setting it up for the next one to come. But obviously, we got the announcement later that they weren't doing it. They tried to shoot Tariq in the woods, so he justified. That's another thing. Y'all think they intentionally tried to shoot him right there? Because it did look weird as hell. It was a deleted thing. Courtney Kemp told us on an IG live that he got it from the maid and that it was an actual scene that didn't make the episode. Okay. I'd never seen that before, but all right. That's good. That's good to know. Yeah, that stuff happens all the time. It's very unfortunate when you're an actor, people, and let's say you got a limited role, like your scene is small, and let's say you got a one liner, and then they cut this shit. Man, that'd be the biggest shit. Because whoever they made may have got featured pretty heavy, maybe even had a line or two, but it got cut, and that shit sucked. That shit happened to me one time before. I remember the first time I was going to be on TV. It was this show called Upscale with Penny Prentice. If you don't know who Penny Prentice is, he's a producer and stuff like that. He was the showrunner for Insecure, that was on HBO with Issa Rae. He had a show that I think he got canceled after the first season, but still, I was on that. And I had something small, and it ended up getting cut. And I had told my folks and stuff like that. Looked at the damn episode. Damn, you know what I'm saying? It didn't even get aired. Folks over there hitting me up like, "Damn, I didn't even see you." That's because I went into they land, nigga. They cut it. So ever since then, I was like, I'm not going to announce unless it's like a big time role. Like if you got a supporting role or a lead role, then obviously they can't cut your shit because you got way too much. But like them co-star roles, yeah, them dangerous. They need a season of bloopers and deleted scenes. Yeah, like letting us see that episode 16 from the original battle. Rick Sweeney purposely shot near Tariq direction while they were deer hunting, and Robert Weston tried to act like he felt bad. Right. Exactly. Stars, for some reason, will never reveal the deleted scenes. Unfortunately. But yeah, so I guess that pretty much covers that segment there. I'm going to go ahead and move to the next one, which is who's the better friend, which y'all kind of already touched on. Y'all been giving a couple of y'all already gave your opinions on it. But who is the better friend between Tariq and Brayden? We did this already with Ghost and Tommy. My opinion, it was Ghost was the better friend. Some of y'all said Tommy. Some of y'all agree with me that it was Ghost. So in the case of Tariq versus versus Brayden, who is the better friend? Actually, to be honest, this one I think I'm gonna play devil's advocate because I think most of you guys is gonna lean towards it's Tariq. I mean, it's Brayden, but I'm gonna go ahead and make a great case for it being Tariq. But I'm gonna hear y'all out. Y'all forget when Tariq saved Brayden's life when they went on that trip to Italy and were to retrieve the recording devices, and Brayden was captured. Tariq saved his life at the expense of a war with Noma. That is a fact. Appreciate that, Takari. You back me because, like I told you, I'm on Tariq's side too. We can work on this one together because I'm pretty sure most of them niggas about to say Brayden. Tariq returned to campus on bail, seek evidence to prove his innocence. Okay, nigga. Start with the IMDb. Rick Sweeney was mad because Tariq said, yeah, he was definitely mad at him for, when he was showing him up about the drug industry and shit like that. Absolutely. So Ali is going with Tiny Tommy. Cassandra and Derek Haynes, Ramona and Rick Sweeney were supposed to be in influence. How you know that? I was gonna mention that Trench. So, but Trench, who are you going with? And DeMarcus, I need your answer too and support. Y'all saying Brayden is the better friend or Tariq? But yeah, Trench, I was definitely gonna go to that one as well. It in season 3 when Kane basically was telling Brayden to take out the Russians, and he was like, it's not like this is your first rodeo. And he was shaking, and it was just funny in general that season with Kane and Brayden. And then of course, he's supposed to took him out and he froze. So Tariq ended up having to come and save his ass because the Russians would have killed him right then and there. So you're saying Brayden, support saying Brayden. Talia, who's your pick? So Trent, you're going, even though you made a case, you're gonna go with Brayden. So look, I'm gonna say this to keep it a buck. They're different at certain stuff. I think be honest with you, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to you, Takari. This is a hard case to win. This is actually a really hard case to win because, to be honest with you, Brayden has held it down for this nigga for so long, and to keep it a buck, he did it. He did it in times where he didn't even have to. Like he supported this nigga on things that he didn't have to support him on. So you gonna say Tariq? So, but like he really, I ain't gonna lie. I still remember when I first watched the finale of season 2. He held it down for Tariq because not only did he take he took up for him saying that Tariq wasn't the cop and drug dealer, and that he didn't take out Professor Reynolds or Ramirez. He took the fall and said he was the drug dealer, and then since he was the president, he was able to present evidence that made it look like that the prosecution was deliberately trying to frame it. And he ended up getting kicked out of school for that. Plus, his dad was mad at him. So that man don't hold him down for him on a lot of stuff, bro. Well, Brayden and Tariq were saving each other when it came to that situation. Lion was on both of their ass. Brayden saved Tariq more than Tariq saved him. He could have let Tariq in season 3 die when he. That's another major one too. Yeah, he could have. Because keep in mind, now and he killed his uncle for him. And that, Brayden was saying that he's out of the game. He wanted to get out of the game after that situation. But after finding out that Tariq was in trouble, he still went back to go get him. Like that's Also, don't forget when Brayden was dating Sack's niece Riley, who was working as a informant against Tariq. Brayden also had the issue with L. Brayden put Cat over friendship all the time. I don't know. We can make that case really because, like, he ultimately did, let her go. Now with L, and he still didn't really do it with L. Now you can make a very strong argument for that with Tommy. You ask me, Tommy always was picking other folks. That's the reason why I was also saying that Ghost was the better friend between Ghost and Tommy because Tommy picked a lot of people over Ghost. If you pay attention, he picked his father over him. He picked Holly over him to a degree, not really, but to a degree. And then he picked Lakeisha over him. Who else? He even kind of was picking being a drug dealer over him because some of the times he was in trouble, and the fact that he wasn't able to see that. L had Tariq and Debo Pigeon Coop. At Choke Brayden, he got Tariq in the game. Low key, Brayden saved Tariq life when Don Carter kidnapped him. Yep, that's another one, major one, because Don Carter was about to cook him. He was cooked after that. Tariq will doing life right now. Brayden didn't ram Carter car. He would have been doing life if Brayden didn't save him in season 2. Funny thing is, Gianni hated the Brayden and Riley relationship. Yeah, Tommy picked a lot of people over that nigga. So I think honestly, even though I tried to make a little case, and Takara, respectfully brought some good evidence, but I think we gotta submit and go ahead and concede that Brayden is the better. Brayden is the better player. Notice everyone of Brayden love interest always been a sister. Brayden loved them in real life. Yeah, I noticed that too. Well, except Riley, and that's the one he said he didn't really like that. I mean, Tommy to a degree is the kind of got the same thing going on. Well, not really. Now that I think about it, but he don't have two of them. But anyways, though, I'm gonna go ahead and transition over. Yeah, we know. We said except Riley, and that's the one he said he didn't like. He didn't really like this, relationship between them. Who was the best relationship for him? Best girl for him? Um, Best relationship between for him. I'll say the worst one was Ed. Like unquestionably, that's the worst one. So it would be between Riley and Kiki. Mm, I don't know. It's close between Riley and Kiki because I mean Kiki's smart Riley kind of seemed like she's an airhead. So maybe Kiki. The best friend on the show is Davis. How? It's not L to live because L was a bad influence on him. So I can't say L. I'll go with Kiki. This nigga sniffing coke, going against, fucking up the business with Tariq and stuff like that, going behind Tariq back. She actually, um, laced some of Tariq's drink and stuff like that. And then, Brayden had to lie about it. Nah, L was the worst one, for sure. Yeah, I think everybody's agreeing that it's Kiki. But anyways, last segment. I'm about to go ahead and transition over to the last segment. So, last segment of the day. Boom. The Ghost, and this is an infamous thing to me. The Ghost and Tasha dynamic. So, as we know, I wasn't saying that you said L, but the fact that you were saying you didn't like Riley. So I got it. I read it wrong. Sorry, Talia. I read it wrong. You saying I didn't like Riley, Kiki, or L. So you basically were saying none of them. My bad. I thought you was at first. I thought you were saying I didn't like Riley, so Kiki or L. And I was saying, well, if that's the case, by default, it got to be Kiki. Got you though. So who are the women that you do like? But anyways, like I was saying, we're on the last topic in season 6. Episode 7 was the episode that Tasha finally decided. The end of episode 7, she decided she was going to teach Tariq the game as long as he promised to never lie to her. Right? So once she made that decision and Ghost found out what she was doing in episode 9, he got mad. And of course, he broke into her house, was waiting on her for when she came in. They had they argument because Ghost was against teaching Tariq how to be in the game because he didn't want to support him being a drug dealer, and Tasha pretty much supported it. So they ended up getting into a big argument that ended up being, like I said, to me, an iconic scene. More so because of the ending of it when he told him your hand and he flicked her off like that. But anyways, we're gonna share it and then go ahead and come back.
Fuck Ghost, you broke.
Hold up.
You broke into my apartment?
Tasha, have you lost your fucking mind?
Excuse me?
I said you must have fucking lost your mind if you got my son in your fucking daycare moving weight.
Now he's your son. Because just a minute ago, you were shoving a damn gun in a boy's face like he was one of your corner boys that came up short.
Tasha, look me in my motherfucking eye and tell me that you don't have my son running product out of that damn daycare of yours.
He's not moving product through the daycare.
What the fuck, Tasha?
And you know what? He's my child. So, it's none of your goddamn business.
None of what you do gets.
That's one thing, and I'm sorry. That's one thing that always bothers me with women that do that. When they get mad at the father and stuff, talking about he's my son, it ain't your business. How the hell it ain't? It's his son too. It's both of y'all's son.
None of what you do gets him locked up or shot.
That's the point, Ghost. I'm making sure he doesn't get locked up or shot.
Tasha, that's bullshit.
No. What's bullshit is us thinking that we could change Tariq or somehow turn him into something he's not. Okay? I've accepted the truth. You should too.
You know what? This isn't even about Tariq. It's about you. Tasha, if you don't fucking get your shit together, I'm gonna get your business shut down, and then I'll take your ass away from you for good.
Are you fucking threatening me? Nigga, you better watch your every move. Because I will tell the feds you killed Terry Silver because I know you did. I'll tell them everything.
No, you won't.
Cool? Try me, nigga.
He turned up my head quick, boy.
Get off me! Get off! I'll fucking scream.
Okay, so that's pretty much the same. I know I didn't include the the forehead flick, but it's crazy. We're gonna discuss, who is right and wrong in this situation. But I just want to point out phenomenal acting by both of them in this scene. Loved it. And it was just crazy, how Ghost was how he was just lost it on her and didn't then had to later realize who it was. Because at first he was treating her like any other, any other bitch on the corner, and then he was like, damn, this Tasha. Shit. Let me shake that out. Damn, I didn't mean to do that. But question of the day. Who was wrong in this particular situation? Now, I think I know some of these answers going to happen. And when I hear it, I'm pretty sure I'm going to hear it. Once I hear it, I'm going to say, I knew your ass was going to say that. But that's not what we're talking about. But let me wait and see. Who knows? Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Ghost snapped on her that day. I like when Riley Jordan Tariq drank too. Why, nigga? Had a cup and drinking at her table. Hold on. Who had a cup and was drinking? Oh, you talking about when Tariq had the cup? She didn't beat him in chess. It was a draw. Ghost attempted to burn his bridge by exposing Tasha and this nigga. Honestly, Tasha never really taught Tariq the game. All she did was give a stripper some drugs to sell at work. Monet had her kids bagging up and on a scale, and Ashley going drug deals, moving bricks. I'm gonna say this: she taught him to a degree because she did teach him how to cut the brick, which is major. Then she also basically, taught him how to move the product without, how to hide in plain sight, basically. She taught him that, aspect of it. Now, how to do the deals and stuff like that and all that, she didn't really do that, but that's because Ghost and hers operation was always built on finesse. They didn't have to go on the corners and do all that stuff. And as far as backing up, like I said, she did teach him how to cut the brick. Even though they didn't physically show us of her teaching them that, but like they talked about it. So I'm pretty sure she taught them how to do it. Well, to Leah, what I'm talking about here, what I was meant, it's fine if they say my son when referring to him. But the thing that I'm speaking of is when you say my son and what I do with him ain't none of your business. That's bullshit because it is. It's his child just like it is yours. And if he were to say what I'm doing with him, ain't your business, it's pretty much vice versa. But at the same time, as the head of the household, he got a little bit more leverage. Yeah, Tasha was scared after that. She was like, okay, this nigga ain't playing. Which scene was worse? Ghost nudging Tasha, Ghost putting the scrap on Tariq, Monet mushing Drew, or Monet choking Diana, or Marvin choking Jukebox? Which scene was the worst? Well, I would have to go with Marvin choking Jukebox. Because he choked shit out and she was a child. So that, yeah. Okay, we ain't talking about both was wrong. Y'all giving me these both. You got to pick somebody. They wasn't playing with toys or watching cartoons. They was cooking rock, cooking crack, and packing gas. Kanan taught Tariq the game. Tasha was just trying to show Tariq a better way to not get caught up. Yeah, basically. Okay, y'all got to stop saying both of them wrong. Yeah, he slapped the shit out of Juke ass too. Yeah, he did do more than choke. He slapped the shit out of two. But I'm gonna say this. Y'all might disagree. I think the slap was kind of warranted because she spit in that nigga face. When you dealing with somebody like that you know your dad is a gangster like that he can snap. Yeah, you asking for that. Now choking her, he took it a little too far. That's your daughter. Okay, so you saying Ghost is wrong. And let me put a little bit more context to what I'm asking, because to make sure I'm understanding you clearly. So basically, what I'm asking is who is wrong as far as the relationship of how they going about with Tariq. Like basically, was Tasha right to try to teach him the game, how to move stuff the right way so that he won't end up getting killed or locked up doing it wrong? Or was Ghost right for just trying to protect him from it altogether? So that's what I'm asking. I'm not saying who's wrong and right as far as the exchange. Like we know, Ghost shouldn't have put his hands on her like that. I mean, that's clear as day. We know that. Oh my goodness, bro. We got to pick an answer. You can't be saying neither of them are wrong. Pick an answer. Yeah, no spitting is so disgusting. I would plop if one of my kids did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that slap was warranted. He just shouldn't have choked her. Ghost didn't protect shit. Hiding it made it worse. So, Ali, you're basically saying that you agree that Tasha was right. And I'm assuming Talia is saying it as well. Tasha was stupid. How you teach your prep kid to sell drugs like you street, and He's soft flower ass going to get pops. Tasha, I say she was definitely wrong. Okay, so we got 2 that say Ghost was right and 2 that says Tasha is right. We need a tiebreaker, people. I knew you were saying Ghost was wrong, Delia. That's why I said we need a tiebreaker. Oh boy. So DeMarcus, you got to be the tiebreaker. You can't be saying no, neither of them were wrong. I mean, I'm gonna get my answer eventually, but I want to go ahead and save mine. If Takari was in here, I know he was what his answer would be. So I slick should just count it. If he is still in here, I don't know. He might be, he might not. He gonna say Tasha was wrong. The show would have been better if Ghost taught Tariq the game and how to fight. No parent should teach their child how to be a criminal. But if Tariq was going to do wrong, he should know the right way. Ooh, okay, you may have gave me a shocker. So, Takari, you're saying that Tasha was right. Let me get this. Let me make sure I'm understanding this right. So, all right. So I guess Tasha wins in this situation. He's saying Tasha was right. So my take on it, pretty much, um, I definitely get the reason why DeMarcus said they both were wrong because but at the same time, I kind of understand where Tasha's coming from because it's pretty much like she said was the truth. He was gonna do it anyway. At least that way, you know, you he's doing it the right way to put him in the best position to not get killed or arrested. That's pretty much what she was doing. So it's kind of hard to say Tasha wasn't right because, like, let's be real, they don't try to tell. Uncle Tommy tried to tell him not to do it. Ghost told him not to do it, and Tasha was telling them not to do it at one point. And of course, Lakeisha as well. And he still did it. So if the people that's the closest to him couldn't get him to stop doing it, trying to force him to not do it would have basically, I don't know. I think, yeah, but yeah, like you said, DeMarcus, Ghost still wasn't wrong for trying to stop him from doing it because he knows the outcome. Tariq doesn't know the outcome. And to be real, that's the part where I can say Tasha is wrong again because you know the end game. It's like Ghost said in the very first episode. You don't know any old wrinkled drug dealers. They're either dead or inside. Eventually, your number is gonna come up, no matter how good you are at it. Right, Ali. Exactly. And that's the reason why, maybe the next live we're gonna touch on because Carter is definitely what I'm almost, I'm rewatching book 2 right now. I'm on season 3 currently. I think I'm on season 3, episode 3. But I can't wait to get back to Carter. Because Carter was on one, you know what I'm saying? Like, to a degree, like he said, drug dealers are like cockroaches. They gonna do that shit anyway. So the best thing you can do is try to control how they do it. And pretty much, Tasha had the same mentality with her son Tariq. She was like, The nigga gonna do it anyway. So why don't just teach the ugly ass nigga how to do it to put him in the best position? But maybe one of the tactics that Ghost could have did was stage something. Had some people go after Tariq, nearly kill him, damn near, beat the brakes off him or something like that. Like, stop being soft on him. Put him in a position where maybe it scares his ass so much that he like, man, I don't want to do this shit no more. So, I mean, maybe he could have done that. And then, of course, kept his hands clean. James and Patrick is offered the position of Lieutenant Governor by the right. Okay. That's what it goes for. All right. You can't influence me like you do the other because I use logic. Some of the time, nigga. Ghost didn't want Tariq to be a petty hustler. He wanted him to be a college hustler. He wanted him to be a college graduate with that she said. Graduate with a brighter future, which was a right approach. But if your son want to be bad, you can't stop him. That is true. That's why I said maybe just try to give him a scare tactic, maybe. Yeah. You said I skip your comment? What comment? Nigga, I ain't seen a comment from you in a minute. Probably didn't. You just missed it. Nah, I read that. Your last comment, I read that. All right, though. I know this one wasn't as long, but you asked me, I think it was a pretty good one. I enjoyed it. But I'm about to get ready to close this out probably in the next 10 minutes. Lakeisha Grant said it best. Tariq wasn't that same little boy no more. Ghost's vision for Tariq was different than what he wanted for himself. Tasha loved her sons for who he was, right or wrong. Right. So, shit, you never watched Snowfall. Damn. But see, Takara, if you watch Snowfall, pretty much the mom in that situation had the same predicament. In the beginning, she, you know, pretty much denounced her son, disowned him, and didn't, really associate with him. She still kind of, talked to her brother about him to check on him to make sure he was all right. But for the most part, she wasn't hanging out with him and shit like that. And then eventually she came to her senses that, she does want to be in his life. So, like you said, right or wrong, she still is going to be there for her son. So, I guess, that's similar. Now that about Ghost setting up Tariq with a fake scheme, would have been interesting. Yeah, that's what I think I would have done. I would have had some people coming, damn near tried to rob him, and I'm like, look, whoop his ass. I would have told them, whoop his ass. Don't kill him, obviously, but whoop his ass, picking up and scare the hell out of him, rob him, and maybe because during that time, Tariq wasn't no super tough guy. He wasn't really used to it like that. Maybe then it could have scared him because what he did, putting the gun to his, to his head and trying to scare him. I mean, that was cool and all, but let's be real. He called his bluff. He was like, I'm your son. You're not gonna shoot me. So quit with this scared straight bullshit. He only wasn't afraid because he knew Ghost wasn't gonna kill him. But if it would have been a random off the streets, they would have did that. Like I said, he just hired some people that Tariq doesn't know and made sure he keep his hands clean to whoop his ass, rob him, put a gun to his head and stuff, all that. It would have looked real. And he would have been a little too scared to do it. Yeah. And then, Ghost could have at least maybe even, pull a move out of Kanan's chessbook, hire some niggas and stuff to do a job, then come behind him and kill him to be the hero. And then, do it that way. That way, no loose ends. And maybe you get him back on track that way. Who knows? Maybe they would have failed too, but perhaps. Ghost was not heavily involved with Tariq. That's when the resentment set in. This is why I can't wait for Power Origins so we can see Ghost's upbringing and how similar the relationships of him and father is similar to Tariq. We know Lulu tried to keep Ghost out the game too. Yeah, he did. Rams for the win, winning field goal, but is snapped, is blocked. Eagles touchdown. I think what the hell? Even though I know what you talking about, but what the hell they got to do with what we talking about? Appreciate the super of the bargains. If you miss a comment, tell people to send a super chat with the comment. Hey, he ain't lying. I mean, I don't. The truth is, I don't intentionally miss anybody's comment. Like I said, some of the times it just happened. Y'all, you got to realize the more people in here, the more comments are flowing through. So some of the times, as it's going, the thing be moving up. So sometimes I might miss it. But if you send a super chat, it's gonna highlight it. So I'm not gonna miss it. If Ghost set Tariq up, Reek would have caught a body, and then that would have made the situation worse. How was he gonna catch a body? Make sure he hired somebody good enough to make sure that he don't kill them. They catch him slipping, beat the brakes off him, and scare that little nigga. If he would have did that when Tariq was young, bro, like fresh after when he first took out Raina, he was still pretty soft then. Now I think the Tariq now, it wouldn't have worked because he's battle tested now. He done been doing it long enough that wouldn't have bothered him. But fresh after taking out Raina, that may would have worked. He wasn't the man like that yet. Ghost is blind when it comes to Tariq. As I think most parents are. A lot of times our kids could be bad as hell. But in our eyes, some of us can't see it. So I mean, or like they could be playing a sport and they could be garbage as hell. But in your eyes, like, look at my son, he doing this, he doing that, and they actually tell. Blind to himself, that's why I understood some of Tasha's thought about him. Yeah, the resentment definitely started with Angela because I mean, pretty much Tariq confirmed that himself right before he shot him at the end. You know, when he said he wished he can go back to when you left us for Angela. So pretty much you can tell that was still, you know, sitting up inside him. Kanan put Tariq's life in jeopardy when Kanan walked away from the police. Hmm? Not sure what you mean there. Blanca Rodriguez and Jenny Sullivan gonna try and use Don Carter to get dirt on Tariq and the task force he's paying. That it probably could make a good storyline. You think they'll possibly work with him, and then that's how he end up getting out, maybe in Legacy, and then he start up some more drama. It didn't have to do with this. I just wanted to say some random shit. I'm guessing you're an Eagles fan. Yeah, I think he may try and get someone to be a mole in the task force. Carter had the info on Monet from them. Yeah, I could tell you an Eagles fan, nigga. I fucked with the Eagles when back in the day. It was Colts, then the Eagles. Now I just don't really watch football at all. Monet dead though. Info on her is useless. It still leads to info on Tariq. Unless it still leads, yeah. Not gonna lie, thinking back on it, I take it back. Monet is worse. Close second is Walter Flynn. They are the only two parents in power that forced the game upon their kids. Ghost and Rock didn't want it for their. Well, yeah, we was talking about just the queens though. We wasn't talking about the guys. So Kanan did Tariq shook, had Tariq shook when Kanan smoked the police, and Tariq actually respected Kanan. Imagine if Ghost pulled the fake scheme on Tariq. Tariq would have been shook. Yeah, and keep in mind what I said was fresh after the Ray Ray incident. After hanging out with Kanan some, you know, he kind of toughened up a little bit more than what he already was. But I think, you know, once they first realized, you know, that he was into stuff like that, he could have, you know, if he would have did it then, like early season 5, yeah. Like maybe fresh after when he pulled that scheme talking about some, calling him ghosts and stuff when he was drunk, he would have did it then. But during that time, Ghost wasn't in the game no more though. Ghost wasn't pushing weight still. I mean, we get it that he lied earlier in their lives, but he wasn't pushing weight then. I'm not saying that it's not worse either, but let me chime in for real. Ghost and Tariq truly fell apart when they didn't make that basketball game in season 3. I mean that did do some damage, but I think they still could have made it past that. I mean that is a big turning point. I'm trying to think about any other incidents that took place after that, but yeah, because Tariq actually, I mean, Kanan actually started messing with him shortly after that. If Kanan survived to book 2, he would have been proud of Tariq and probably like Brayden. Yeah, but the time with the oranges, that's not. First off, I think they should have whooped his ass worse than that. What I'm talking about, should have whooped that. I'm talking about whooped that nigga ass, messed his face up, kind of effed him up. That's what I'm saying. Whoop that nigga ass, and then pull the gun on him himself too. And then like I said, no life threatening situation, but beat the nigga ass. And then season 6, he was already kind of too far gone. Ghost grabbing Tariq after calling Angela a side bitch was what made Tariq hate him more. Nah. Imagine instead of oranges, Vincent had a bag of rocks and batteries to hit Tariq. He would have fucked that little nigga up. Well, I feel it. Man, I mean, he could have just watched from a distance and monitored it to make sure it didn't go left. When Ghost bruised Tasha's arm, that's when I think he was, beyond pissed at him to the point where they was about at a point of no return. Yeah. But the situation with the basketball game is, I think what Slim is talking about is that's when he first started to like really dislike his dad. Hmm. Anyways, though, like I said, I'm about to get ready to close this one out because I got something else I got to work on in less than an hour now. So appreciate everybody that stopped through. Nice little 2-hour live. Probably gonna start tomorrow's at 10. I will be doing a morning show too. So that morning show will be at the same time that it normally be. And tomorrow's live, like I said, probably gonna start at 10. I don't know if you could say that she got them bruises from the Keisha situation because she was definitely crutching at her arm after the ghost situation. So I don't know. The downfall was Angie. Then the movement in truth, Reek broke down how he felt about the Angie situation and Ghost apologized, but nothing changed after that. Right. The beating that Lorenzo lined Kane up with in prison, that was severe. A couple characters need one of those. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But the only difference is, Kane was already way too far gone. And Kane is actually a tough guy. So, that wasn't gonna scare him or nothing. It was just a lesson for him. But if you did something like that to Tariq, somebody who's soft, just now trying to get into the game, it would have scared him enough to stop doing it. Tommy put the fear in Tariq on that rooftop, at least at that moment. Yeah, but again, that was season 6. That was season 6, episode 7. Tariq was already too far gone. I'm talking about catching that little nigga when in season 5, the beginning, when he first was starting all that shit. If the Jamaicans would have gotten a hold of Ghost, that would have shaken up Tariq if he didn't have on headphones. I think that would have kind of made him want to get revenge, though, to be honest with you. All right, though. Appreciate it. Like I said, though, I got another job I got to start on in less than an hour, so I got to go and jump off. But appreciate everybody who stopped through. Another great live, and I'll be catching some of y'all in the morning, and then another one, good one, 10 o'clock tomorrow, Central Time. But until next time, I'm gonna catch up.